Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of my Learning the Basics video. In this video I'll be talking about strings, variable scope, and comments. Since this is a continuation of the first video, I won't bore you with a long intro, so let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. Unlike the other data types I discussed in the last video, strings are not of a primitive type, but are instead objects created as instances of a class. Because of this, strings come with their own set of methods that can be used to work with and alter them. If you're a little confused by the idea of classes or objects, don't worry. These concepts are a little more advanced and will be the subject of a later video. Back on the subject of strings, a string is a sequence of characters such as a word, a sentence, etc., and is defined by enclosing text in double quotes, as you can see in the example. I hadn't planned on showing any code in this first video, but I think it's the best way to help you understand how to work with strings. In this example, I've created a new string called name and assigned it to the value of Josh. Note that each time I call a strings method, I do so by typing the variable name, followed by a period, followed by the method name. The char@ method returns the character at the requested index. Here I've created a variable called letter and assigned it the value of the character located at index 2 of the name, which in this case is the letter S. The length method returns the size of the string making the call. Here I assign the length of name to the variable size, which in this case will be 4 since Josh contains 4 characters. The toUpperCase method returns the calling string as all uppercase characters. In this last bit of code, I created a new string called BigName and assigned it the uppercase representation of the original variable name. Now I'm going to go ahead and run the code. And as you can see, we get the character S, the length 4, and Josh as all uppercase characters. A variable's scope is the part of the program that has access to the variable. The concept of scope actually gets fairly complicated, so I'll only be introducing the concept here, but you can expect to hear more about it in later videos. The general idea, for now, is that a variable must exist before it can be referenced. In the code below, you can see the red markings in the print statement because we're trying to reference a variable that does not exist until the next line. Comments are notes of explanation that document lines or sections of a program. While comments are part of the program, the compiler ignores them and they are only intended for people who may be reading the source code. It's a good idea to get into the habit of adding comments to any program you write, as they are useful in describing what certain sections of your code do or mean when you or someone else are going over them in the future. There are 3 ways to add comments to a program. Single-line comments are denoted by 2 forward slashes, and the compiler will ignore everything from the start of the comment to the end of the line. Multi-line comments are started with a forward slash followed by an asterisk, and are closed by an asterisk followed by a forward slash. The compiler will ignore everything written between these 2 markers. The last type of comments are known as documentation comments. I've included some information about them in the table, but this is a more advanced subject, best saved for another time. That concludes the second part of my first video in my Java from Scratch series. If you feel that I've missed anything or could have explained something better, please let me know. As always, leave any questions you have in the comments section and be sure to like the video if you found it useful. Next week is finals week for me, so I'll probably be a little bit slower getting the next video out. But you can expect it to be about downloading a workspace, accepting user input, and writing your first program. Hope you enjoyed.